And before I begin my speech, I would like to ask you two simple questions. Have you ever been deprived of your primary necessities, your hopes, and your dreams? Have you ever experienced a point in your life where whatever you do, you cannot help yourself? I know for a fact that some of us, but not all of us, had never experienced this before, simply because we are studying this prestigious university of ours. We are very lucky people. We have never worked a day just so we can survive the day. We have never worked so hard just so we could survive for a day. Looking around Manila and even at Taft Avenue, we see hundreds of kids asking and begging for alms just so that they can survive the day. Though we give them sometimes because we think that they're gonna use this to buy food and medicine and the like, it pains us to see that the money that we give them will be just used to buy alcohols, drugs, cigarettes, and the most frequent is rugby. With this not just happening in the Philippines but all around the world, as mere humans, what can we do to help them help themselves? We can introduce them and promote them into sports. Because through sports, children can become healthy. Children can stay away from the streets and away from from vices like alcoholism and drugs and the like. Also, sports has its unique way of changing a child's life. This would eventually make a child's future a brighter and better one. So, sports can help children become healthy. This is really self-explanatory. We all know that through exercising, not only kids but everyone can become healthy. What better way to exercise than to pursue a sport? If you pursue the sport, not only will you become healthy, but you will be able to enhance your skills in that particular sport. Also, sports are often used as treatment for illnesses, especially asthma. I have a friend who had been suffering scoliosis since she was a child. And one time when they went into the doctor told them to try swimming, and so she did. At first, it was very hard for her, but then she got better at it. Her scoliosis got cured, and she even became a varsity player of her high school. What I'm trying to say is that through sports, children and everyone can become physically and mentally fit. Sports can make children stay away from bad people, bad vices, and the like. According to the National Drug Intelligence Center, the numbers of teenagers doing drugs every year is increasing. This fact presented to us is a matter not to be taken in lightly. Not only because it tells us that more people are getting addicted, but the majority of these are teenagers. Also, according to the US NoDrugs.com, 1 in 5 people among the age range of 16 to 59 years old had admitted of taking in drugs before, at least once in their life. So maybe look at the person on your left, or maybe at the person on your right, or even at the person at your front. Maybe they had done drugs before. So, also, sports can make children stay away from the streets. If they had nowhere else to go to except their houses, where else would they go? The streets, of course. And what would they find on the streets? They would find hundreds of bad people, bad things to do, bad things. If they did pursue a sport, they would try their best to be the best at that sport. They would always go to that certain arena of that sport. For example, basketball court, because I love basketball, I would always want to go to that basketball court. Sports should be the sort of safe haven for these kids. Sports should be the window. Should be the window of freedom for the kids. This is where they could express themselves in the only way that they could. Through sports, children would have a brighter future because they would see this as an opportunity that they never did have before. They would look at this as a way to move forward in life. We see that nowadays there are a lot of people who have succeeded in this line of occupation. A very good example is that of Michael Oher. He is the boy from The Blind Side. He was just a normal boy living in a bad neighborhood with an addict mother. One person took a shot at him, and he did her good. Look where he is right now. He's playing professional football at the States. If it weren't for sports, he wouldn't be where he is right now. Another movie in which it showcases that sports really changes people's lives is that of The Gridiron Gang. That movie is about underage criminals who have lost their way. If it nobody took a shot at them until they learned how to play football. And through football, some of them had become responsible and they went back to the right path again. And as a personal favorite, the movie Coach Carter. I truly admire this movie because you could clearly see the transition from the players being total jack-offs to becoming responsible adults. With basketball, they were able to enter and finish college. All of them never thought that that would be possible. All you need is practice, desire, and compassion. Although if one succeeds in life, there would be temptations along the way. The best thing to do is that to think of your goal, think of your goal, how you got there, and how hard it was to do so. To conclude, sports really do changes people's lives. It is so because we see hundreds of people, for example, like Michael Ower in the life, they had already succeeded. What more about these kids on the streets? They could do so just like me. The examples that I have given. Sports changes people's lives because it makes them healthy. It makes them stay away from the streets and bad vices and bad company. It gives them a future to look forward to. And also, it changes everything about them. My final words to you is that, why do drugs and die? Do sports and shine. Thank you.